Smasho here, and welcome to the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. We're going to be going around the horn to start things out this morning. Taking a look at the sun in some ultra fantastic wavelengths. We'll also have some great holiday gift ideas and more. So, welcome to the Black Friday edition of the Daily Space Weather. This is 193 plus 304 angstroms from the SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory. And since we were looking at the southeastern limb, let's take a look at the southwestern limb. You can see a CME actually erupting there. Some plasma making its way out. Here's the northwestern limb. Some filaments up there. Lots of filaments remain on the Earth-facing portion of the solar disk. Likelihood of additional coronal mass ejections remains nearly 100%. We're also seeing a high-speed coronal hole wind stream. Here's the northeast. Huge filaments hanging out over the northeastern limb. We've got some more imagery for you here, but we've got a little bit of missing data, so let's just put that on the latest. There's the latest frame. The SDO intensitygram, we have seen some growth in sunspot 3152. These groups have largely remained stable. There is the colorized magnetogram again. Some missing frames there. And let's take a look at some ideas for improving your health. A membership at the American Better Health Organization might be a way to do that. Are you looking to have some dental work done, but you don't want to pay the exorbitant costs of dental insurance? Pick up a membership with SureMed and obtain some dental discounts. Accepted at hundreds of thousands of dental practices nationwide. Perhaps you're looking to get some new glasses, save 60% on vision products. Also get doctors by phone, counselors by phone, virtual veterinarians. How about discounts on retail and mail-order pharmacy products? Health Advocate Solutions, where the trained professionals can help you negotiate lower bills and navigate through finding providers and so on. All sorts of features with a basic membership. At SureMed, improve your health with an association membership with the American Better Health Organization, DBA SureMed. Links below the video to SureMed, as well as on the SmashTeam page at smashomash.com/SmashTeam. We just launched it in October of 2021. It's barely a year old. The best value is the gold annual paid up subscription, and thanks to our gold and silver subscribers especially, there is a credit crawl coming back here before year's end. And we like to give ourselves deadlines here. Give Smash staff a raise by becoming a member of the Smash Team at smashomash.com/SmashTeam. Support the channel via clicks, etc. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter as we segue into our next segment. We'll be showing you some information here about Shivaluch. Check it out. There is some Kamchatkan magma becoming lava before your very eyes. Yes. Hot liquid magma becoming lava. Because, well, when it's underground, it's magma. When it's above ground, it's lava. So you're seeing the birth of some new lava there on the Kamchatka Peninsula. Let's see what else has been erupting by checking out volcanodiscovery.com's Volcanoes Today page. Kluchevskoy. Some weak Strombolian activity there at Kluchevskoy. You can see a great little lava fountain happening there at the top of the very cone-shaped Kluchevskoy caldera. Volcanic alert level increased to yellow at Kluchevskoy. At Shivaluch, exploding. It's producing a 12,000-foot plume of volcanic ash, flight level 120. Merapi showing up back on the list with a flight level 150. Semeru in East Java, Indonesia. Flight level 140, 14,000-foot ash plume. Kilauea now showing up back on the list again here with an effusive eruption. The lava flow from the western vent continues to supply the Halema-Uma'u lava lake along the southern, northeastern, and northwestern rim of the crater floor. Also some summit inflation happening at Kilauea. Fluctuating variations occurring in the Halema-Uma'u lava lake. Popocatépetl exploding mildly. No size of the ash plume listed there from Popocatépetl. Santiaguito in Guatemala here. Exploding, flight level 150. Fuego exploding, flight level 170. Sangay exploding, flight level 200. Revenador, volcanic ash clouds not observed. Not sure if it's erupting or not. Don't assume it's not. And please don't pole vault the caldera. Sabancaya, possible emissions of gases there in Peru. And Villarrica, a beautiful greeting to the world. The volcano sent out a rare steam ring from the summit crater into the air. A ring vortex created when a sudden pulse of gas leaves a circular vent. What did we do here? What happened? We've got our solar imagery in the wrong spot. We are going to earthquakes next. There's the past 90 days. Oh my God, the dangers of streaming live, folks. Holy cripes. Don't worry, we are quite adaptable here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. So there are your last 90 days of seismicity, and you can see we had a recent uptick here with a few 7 magnitude quakes. The past 24, nothing into a 6 magnitude range, only 5 magnitude range quakes, like this 5.1 in Tonga, this 5.1 in the Philippines. Those occurring only 4 minutes apart, practically simultaneous quakes there. And also a 5.2 in the Solomon Islands, that one only 8 minutes after the Philippine quake. So 3 quakes there of a 5+ magnitude around Oceania in rapid succession. Also looks like some continued unrest in Texas. Check it out. There's a 4.9 in Texas, preceded by a 4.5 magnitude foreshock. So how about them apples? Five minutes after the 4.5, there was a 4.9 magnitude quake in Texas. Let us know in the comments if you felt that quake. And it could be snowing there. Snowing and earthquakes in Texas. Let us know in the comments if you think it's a result of human carbon dioxide emissions. Next, the Solomon Islands had a 5.0. That was at 22:43 last night. So some Thanksgiving earthquakes occurring. Kermadec Islands had a 5.0. And let's get back to space. So this is the original composite wavelengths we showed you, zoomed out to the full disk view, 304 plus 193 angstroms. And let's subtract 193 angstroms to show only 304. It'll remove that extended corona portion. There's 304 angstroms by itself. And we've seen a reduction in solar activity despite minimal sunspot growth. We'll cover it. We've also got geomagnetic unrest. We'll cover that too. The 10.7 centimeter radial flux now all the way down to 111 solar flux units. There is the 1 year graph of that. Make it 110. 110 solar flux units. And if you're wondering what a solar flux unit is, it is 10,000 joules of radial flux density. So another significant dip here. As we see solar cycle 25 leveling off here, I would remind our viewers that we are a long way from solar maximum. Over 2 years from solar maximum. Next, Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard here. We are seeing geomagnetic unrest caused by a coronal hole high-speed stream. I heard talk of it being a coronal mass ejection, and I just don't see that signature. So let's take a look at some more information here. Here is the Geospace Magnetosphere movie for the past 4 hours. Earth's magnetic moment from space. That's the last 4 hours of magnetohydrodynamic pressure. The units scaled here are nanopascals. So geomagnetic unrest conditions happening right now. We'll show you the aurora forecast first. Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. Our ground magnetic perturbations map. This is nanotesla, magnetic flux density. That'll show you the most likely places to see aurorae, pipeline rail line, and electrical grid induction, etc. So we expect to see some great auroral shares coming later today. Once again, to the Twitter feed, make sure you follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/smashamash. We have a truly pathetic number of followers, 333 followers on Twitter, despite having over 17,000 tweets and daily original content for pushing 6 years. Anyway, here's your auroral forecast. And again, we are expecting some significant auroral imagery. Those are where the calculations put the aurorae. Next, the AKP index, a measurement of global geomagnetism. Planetary K index at 4.33. And let's take a look at the real-time solar wind to see the cause. So ultimately the cause was this coronal hole high-speed stream. The density made it up a little bit over 40 protons per cubic centimeter, at least to 43 protons per cubic centimeter. And then the standard signature that you'll see of a coronal hole high-speed stream is certainly present in this coronal hole high-speed stream, because you've got right in here, you've got a perfect example of an increase followed by a decrease in the solar wind density. At the same time, an increase in the solar wind speed and a change in the plasma temperature reflected in that bottom green frame. That is certainly a coronal hole high-speed stream. It couldn't be any more obvious. Current conditions are pushing 500 kilometers a second here at 484 at the moment. Solar wind density here nominal at 11.88 protons per cubic centimeter. And let's move on to some additional magnetic data. So there goes magnetometers. You can expect to see some spiky readings from these two magnetometers throughout the day today, a standard feature of coronal hole high-speed stream impacts. And let's take a look at the top view ecliptic plane field plot. So there is the heliospheric current sheet. Earth is in a North Pole current sheet at the moment. No changes expected anytime soon there. Next, our line of sight field plot. The heck? Obviously, there is something funky with it. There is the line of sight field plot. North solar polar field in green, south solar polar field in red, and solar B field in blue. Let's move to coronal holes. Apparently some mystery. It wasn't playing right because reasons. So there is the 1 hour and 19-minute old data. We've got North Pole-oriented coronal holes here, rotating through some pretty epic ones there. I see some trans-equatorial ones rotating in the east. Here you can see one that's crossing the equator. Those are the most geo-effective type of coronal holes. And thanks for leaving a comment. Old Uncle Huh. And thanks for noticing the channel. So that's our coronal hole view. Next we will move to sunspots. A great filament here. You can see this filament ejecting. Let's let that play through one more time. You'll see this filament ejection right here. Here it's there, and whoops, now it's gone. It's there and it's gone, like the credibility of so many people on YouTube. So here are the sunspot situation. Sunspot 3152 was named as we forecasted yesterday. Besides that, things pretty stable here. No major changes, it looks like. Don't worry, we'll show you some high-res imagery by the end of the video. Here's the SDO continuum plus 335 angstroms. Let's subtract the 335 angstroms. That's the last 24 hours in SDO continuum. A little bit of growth from Sunspot 3152. These other groups looking mostly stable there. And let's switch to the SDO magnetogram. That's the last 24 hours in SDO magnetogram. And don't worry, folks, we've got some brilliant shopping ideas for you coming up. You may be vexed about what to get people for Christmas. Well, on Black Friday, we're going to come through with some ideas. Next, looking at energetic particles here, the ghost proton flux. Not showing us any relativistic particles showing up at Earth recently, actually for weeks since we've had a proton event. Likelihood of solar flare is not really all that high, as these sunspots have been a little bit underperforming, although they are beta gamma class sunspot groups. And as you can see from this imagery right here, there is some significant probability of solar flares, as we do have complex sunspot groups. So there's the flaring for the past 3 days. Here are the flare wavelengths, 131 angstroms. And 94 angstroms. I believe that C-class flare came from this sunspot group up here. It's minor enough that I'm not particularly concerned about it. And let's move on to a star chart. If you're up before dawn, you may see Mars setting in the western sky. This is what's going on above our head in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, as Cygnus just rose. Looks like Deneb actually just came over the horizon here. And let's do a solar system forecast. This is where things are now. And there's where things will be in 1 week. Venus in the process of returning to prograde motion. And let's take a look at some coronagraphs. What is up with that? I don't understand it. All right, let's press refresh. There are 94 frames. That is Thanksgiving's CME blasts. Some great imagery there. Those are not Earth-directed CMEs. And how about today's CME activity? 17 frames so far. Things are pretty quiet on the coronagraph front. Let's take a look at some more coronagraphs like Stereo A at Lagrange 5 and like the Soho Lascaux C3 at Lagrange 3. I mean, Lagrange 1. Yes, Lagrange 1. We ain't got nothing at Lagrange 3. You can see, interestingly enough, you can see Venus hanging out here as it's in the process of turning the corner and, again, returning to a prograde motion. It looks like it's stalling out there. And, of course, we do see some more CMEs. Those do not appear to be earthly directed. Continuing on to our 24-hour videos. You can see, interestingly enough, this CME comes from this area down here, and it ends up going off to the east. A great indication of how unpredictable a CME could be. It could come from the far side of the sun and be directed directly toward Earth. It is a thing that does occur occasionally. Let's zoom out a little bit more here. Show a little bit more propagation of that mostly hydrogen gas. Something like 90% hydrogen ions there on our composite imagery. And it's about time to recommend that you visit our links. and welcome to the Neo Renaissance. So check out our links. If you haven't done so, visit us on social media. Hit us up. Let us know in the comments what your favorite social media is, or have you unplugged entirely? Have you sold your Meta stock and your Google stock and your Twitter stock yet? Well, didn't Fauci get deposed on Tuesday or Wednesday or something? Yeah, I heard there are going to be some issues regarding big tech. It's part of the reason why we created our own website, of course. So, in 2019, a crack YouTube unit was sent to social media prison for a crime we didn't commit. We promptly escaped the maximum security social media stockade of the internet underground, where we survive as producers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find the content, maybe you can hire the Smash Team. You can certainly hire the Smash Team, especially at the gold or silver or gold annual paid up subscription level. But you can find all kinds of links there as well, like links to our Hemp Lucid shop. So if you haven't checked that out before, great gift ideas. Visit our links to go shopping for Black Friday. Fantastic products here. We will have to do some more product reviews coming soon. Maybe try the water-soluble CBD tincture or shop by solution. Are you trying to get better sleep? Well, click on the Botanical Solutions link there, and you can save 10%. There's a little coupon there that you'll see. Also, free shipping on orders over $69. So check it out. Fantastic products there. Shout out to Hemp Lucid, our latest affiliate/sponsor. Good stuff on the Hemp Lucid shop. So visit the links, support the channel that way. Pick up some gifts, maybe a 3-pack of CBD full spectrum lip balm. Next, moving back to the space weather. So we've got huge filaments and a huge number of them on the Earth-facing portion of the solar disk. I mean, check this one out over here. Maybe this one should be, let's call that Kamala Harris. That filament is called Kamala Harris, all right? That's what that one's called. This one over here, that one's going to be called, how about Chuck Schumer? That's Chuck Schumer. That's Kamala Harris. Sound good? Let us know in the comments what you think that the filaments should be named. How about this prominence up here? We could call that one, I don't know. How about the Eugene Bagashov prominence? Let us know in the comments if you think it's going to destroy civilization and or kill you. So, again, likelihood of coronal mass ejections here nearly 100%. Expect to see lots more fireworks coming. And remember, you don't need to see solar flares or even sunspots to see coronal mass ejections. Here's the last 24 hours from SDO 171 angstroms, the house favorite wavelength. And let's get into additional views of the closest star. And thanks for stargazing with us, by the way. Here's the GO 16 SUVI over the past about 2.5 hours. Some major prominences up there. So the Eugene Bagashov prominence up here is certainly a promising one. And if you're frightened of solar activity, keep in mind that we are hoping for Earth-directed CMEs most of the time on the channel. Continuing on to our bonus features segment, we do have some satellite charging hazards here. So some electrons building up on the surfaces of satellites. Some surface charging hazards there over the Caribbean, the Western Caribbean rather, also Mexico, Central America, and moving into the Central Pacific Ocean. Those are caused by low energy electrons on the outside of spacecraft. Here is the electron flux measured at the F ionosphere layer using radiography from the geosynchronous orbits of the GO 16 and GO 17. And we see very low levels, as is typical with coronal hole high-speed streams. There is the relativistic electron forecast model. You're seeing observations a little bit higher than the forecast there, but it's a minimal difference. There's the 1-year graph to put it in context. The typical low levels of electron flux we see during coronal hole high-speed streams. And let's take a look at the F ionosphere layer. Again, the location where those electrons are measured. And if you want to pause the video on this frame, feel free. It's showing you temperatures of the thermosphere during solar minimum versus solar maximum. It's also showing you things like molecular density in the thermosphere and the penetration of electromagnetic radiation through atmospheric layers. We'll show the raw vibrational frequency of the ionosphere as well as the anomalygram. Here's the anomalygram. That's anomaly in megahertz from a 30-day median. By the way, we showed an extended feature on yesterday's video. We showed a 7-day anomalygram because we are seeing enduring low-frequency anomalies, especially north of the equator as winter approaches the northern hemisphere. And here's the latest image. That's 11:30 Universal Time ionogram. And there's 11:30 Universal Time anomalygram. Some high-frequency anomalies showing up around the South Atlantic anomaly, which is somewhere around here, over the South American continent, the South Atlantic anomaly. Next, the latest total electron content image from Australian Government Bureau of Meteorology. Highest electron content is over Southern Africa at the moment. No real surprise there. And let's take a look at the total electron content forecast, showing you the most likely places for GPS errors, the area between your GPS satellite and your handset. It's about 12,500 miles from your GPS handset to your GPS satellite. We are seeing some free electrons out of place here. Again, a typical feature of coronal hole high-speed streams. So that's what's going on in terms of GPS errors. Those are the most likely places to see them. The redder that appears, the more likely a GPS error is to occur in those areas. And we saw some GPS errors in Pennsylvania yesterday. When we went riding, there were some oddities in the GPS data. Unless maybe the Earth was expanding. Oh, noes, the Earth is expanding. We're spooked. Anyway, here's your rock back between the latest intensitygram and latest magnetogram. Looks like this sunspot group might have degraded. That sunspot group is now an alpha class sunspot group, so it's less likely to produce flares. These groups down here, the one to the right is alpha class. The one in the middle is beta gamma class. And the one on the left is alpha class. This one up here remains beta gamma class for sure. So that is certainly beta gamma class. An argument could be made that it is beta gamma delta class. I'd say it's the most likely place to see solar flares, especially large ones. And there are, again, huge filaments following that, rising over the northeastern limb. So here's one more series of images from SDO. Looks like we've got some missing data there as well. So that's our composite there. That's yesterday plus today. It should be yesterday plus today. Some missing frames there for whatever reason. And it's about time to move to the realm of meteorology. Before we do that, here are some great gift ideas for you. If you don't know what to get people for Christmas, perhaps pick up some controversial and some just motivational products on our Redbubble Shop. Save 20 to 60% for the next 5 days, store-wide. So if you click the links below the video or on the homepage of the Redbubble Shop, Smash-O merch will appear before you in order of best selling. So a bunch of different products there, including the Galactic Federation Special Forces, and I've Survived Global Democide so far, and Google Defined, and the Fauci face of evil products. Today's featured product is a message of positivity, because holding a grudge is like ingesting poison and expecting the other person to die. So forgive, remember, and hold accountable. Does that make sense? Forgive, remember, and hold accountable. Because forgive and forget is so 2019, and there's a lot of accountability to be had. Let us know your favorite bureaucracy, corporation, or person who needs to find accountability. Forgive them, remember whatever it is that they did, and hold accountable. Because I'm not going to forget, and I'm not going to be gaslit. What about you? Again, check out the products there, sweet products on the Redbubble Shop. Save 20 to 60% store-wide for the next 5 days. Press like, press subscribe, press share if you enjoy the content. And thanks to our YouTube viewers for tolerating the pathetic and putrid censorship. We did move around our playlists a little bit there, so maybe check those out if you haven't seen our playlists. All kinds of additional content besides space, weather, and meteorology segments. Cosmology segments. SmashOmash.org presents The Sun. The weekly Smasho stream / any chats. Driving, riding, and pro tips. What about the Diamond Anvil Too Hard to Smash? Lots of different playlists available there, so check them out. Do one thing, because the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Press like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, tell your friends and foes about us. Promote the content, since YouTube doesn't seem to be doing so, as we stagnate at 2.6K subscribers for, a solid year. It's only the most detailed imagery of the sun and comprehensive space weather you'll find anywhere. Also, our meteorology segments, as you may see, are pretty spectacular. And we're tracking the largest waves in the world, which are in the North Pacific here, northeast of Hawaii. Some 32-footers up there. Also some big waves looking like they're showing up here. 32-footers in the North Pacific. Those are the world's largest waves at the moment. Of course, the world's largest body of water is quite spectacular, the Pacific Ocean. And let's take a look at the surface winds. So these are the surface winds of the eastern world. And these are the jet streams. That's the 250 hectopascal winds, by the way. Here are the jet streams of the west. Surface winds are looking like this. Strong winds in the North Atlantic. Here are the surface winds of the central world. And here are the jet streams. Continuing on, it's our clouds and fog map. The 3.9 nanometer radiation. Some rapid cloud nucleation happening there over Brazil. Shout out to our Brazilian viewer. We've at least got one. Shout out to Bruce. And where is the Batman? So that's clouds and fog, 3.9 nanometer radiation satellite. And let's move to our weather.gov map. So weather.gov, they're showing winter storm warnings over portions of Texas. Yes, Texas. We'll show you the snow forecast here in a minute. That's your weather.gov map. If your county's lit, click your county on weather.gov. And here's a forecast for you. This is pressure and precipitation. You may see some heavy snows there in the Pacific Northwest and also New Mexico and Texas. Yes, Texas. 6 inches. Over 6 inches are forecasted in some of these areas. That's your GFS 72-hour pressure and precipitation forecast. And let's see how that stacks up in terms of snow piling up. Here's your accumulated positive snow depth change based on the same model, the GFS 72-hour forecast. And again, you can see several pockets of 6+ inches of snow there forecasted for portions of Texas. Also some snow falling in Mexico and New Mexico. Looks like over a foot in some portions of New Mexico on the forecast. Dag, Texas. It's so hot that it's cold in Texas. So let's do the Euro forecast here. We've got snow depth here. We're going to forward this about 3 days. So it's going to melt rapidly, it looks like. The Euro forecast, it looks like it's going to peak about Saturday. Saturday morning, you're going to wake up with quite a bit of snow there. Even the Euro model forecasting about 8 inches. That area right there, that's going to be at least according to the Euro model, 7 inches of snow there forecasted. Expect Saturday to be a bit snowy in West Texas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and it's barely past Thanksgiving. All right, so here's our NASA GOES lightning mapper, and we've got some heavy lightning here around Nolens. Yeah, Nolens. Let's see if we've got any active cells at the moment. The Gulf has got some significant thunderstorms here. A long line of lightning strikes there. Give that a minute to load. Give it a couple seconds to load, or I'm going to abandon it. There we go. We've got some active cells happening there, some strikes occurring in the Gulf. Next time you hear thunder, check out lightningmaps.org. It's a real-time lightning map. Forecast lightning and convince the natives that you're Zeus, or perhaps Odin, or something. Next, moving to our final segments here. It's the U.S. Doppler radar map. There's the all 50 state view as it continues to precipitate. In southern Alaska, we will focus on the lower 48 for the remainder of the video. There is the U.S. Doppler radar as rain is being pushed out by the jet stream, it looks like. You can expect some colder air to follow, I suspect. And pardon this temporary aside. Our data timed out. There we go. There is clouds and fog over the lower 48. There is water vapor. And indeed, you can see the jet stream here kind of pushing through. Moving that moisture out into the Atlantic. Always remember, folks, dry air is more massive than moist air at a given temperature and pressure, which makes that a high pressure system and this a relative low pressure system. Also some heavy moisture there around northern Montana. Here's your recap. It's the U.S. Doppler radar showing vertical motion of water droplets in the air column. Here is the clouds and fog 3.9 nanometer radiation map. And there is the water vapor map. Hopefully that helped clear things up for you. By the way, today I'm wearing my Fauci Face of Evil shirt, because the face of evil always seems to manifest itself and just lie directly to your face. And if you want to follow the face of evil, then hey, more power to you. Good luck with that. In any case, I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. Smash-O-Mash, signing off from the Smash News Network, least busted name in news, and may that solar wind be at your back. Opinions expressed in this video, not necessarily the opinions of Smash News Network, least busted name in news.